sort of said that Empress was sort of based around a certain number of tick boxes, such as no computers, songs with choruses, songs that are easier to digest structurally, lots of vocoders, and also being able to bring back the guitar. I was just wondering if you had to sort of run through it, sort of explain some of those choices and why you've elected to sort of go with that.
Cool. So I've been writing with House of Strange for maybe 6 years before Emperor Yes came around, and I reckon all the tick boxes would have come from things that I just weren't happy with in the previous project and didn't think were really, or thought that might be the reason why people aren't engaging with this. So yeah, the chorus thing was just like, we played our first show the other day and there was people singing along who I didn't know in the first chorus of Wasps, and I was like, so this is why people write choruses. Yeah, people can like just get them quite quickly and like want to sing along with them and shit. So yeah, the chorus thing just came out of House of Strange. The guitar thing as well, having gone to guitar making university and being surrounded by people who just wanted to speak about guitars constantly, I was just like, oh man, I just don't want to use any of that. Like, so now it's like, okay, sweet. I'm kind of over not wanting to do that just because I had been surrounded by guitarists talking about pickups and scale lengths and fretboards and just like too much shit. It was just like, oh fuck it, I don't want to hear that stuff anymore. But yeah, like everything, like opinions change, and just totally keen to fucking make loud distortion sounds again.
So do you think you've tried to make it deliberately more accessible?
I think at heart the type of stuff that I really like is vaguely universal, and I like music from all the different genres. There's none that are kind of like, I don't like that, or I don't like that. So I think House of Strange was probably slightly weirder than my personality and everything actually is. So I feel like I've come down to going like, sweet, this is what I'm all about, and these are my, this is what I like to do and I'm good at doing. So yeah, I think Emperor Yes is pretty up to date with what I'd like to be doing at the moment.
Okay. You mentioned your first show the other day on Wednesday, which was supporting Phonetics, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was kick-ass. Like, there was people there, and there was no gear malfunctions, which is like...
First show,
Yeah, and like, last year we didn't gig at all with Emperor Yes. House of Strange didn't do any gigs, so my only gigging experience last year was with the Three Trap Tigers, and we must have done 60 or 70 dates. And I reckon 1 out of 10 of those shows wouldn't have a technical fuck-up. So...
Wow.
Starting this new thing was really like, I don't want to make it as difficult for us as it is for the Three Trap Tigers. I don't want to add that extra level of stress. You've already got to think, shit, I need to go up and play in front of people and remember my parts. You don't want to be thinking, is my keyboard going to stop? Like, when I kick in this pedal, is it going to feed back? So yeah, all the fucking gear side was fine, and although there was a few errors, it was like, this is feels feels doable, and people seem to be liking it. So it was like, it was a really good start.
So in many ways you sort of strip things down almost, and that's kind of where you're finding more success.
Yeah, strip so much stuff back, and I'll eventually get my ass in line to start the live show back up again with projections and mad lighting effects and stuff. But just for the time being, I want to make sure that the music is good and people can identify with that, and then I'll start putting more extras on
if needs be.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, the band's still in its relatively formative stages, and you all have other commitments elsewhere.
Yep.
So, have you come on to figuring out like a vague plan for this year?
Well, we will. We've got some more recordings that we're going to do in the next couple of months, and I reckon we're going to gig as much as possible. Although the primary commitment for me and Bets is Three Trap Tigers, so whenever that shit is on, we'll be doing that, both of us. So I don't think they're writing I don't think they're going into the studio until summer. So up until summer, it's going to be full steam ahead and see how far we can get in a short space of time. Yeah.
Okay. I've noticed a few people have compared you to the Postal Service. Has that surprised you?
Yeah, totally. I used to listen to that band years ago and then just completely forgot about them.
Mm.
But I get it. There's kind of like an electronic bed of shit, and the vocals are
quite
slightly soft and slightly, I don't know, positive but slightly melancholic or something like that. Kind of like, I guess Grandaddy is also a good match.
Mm.
But yeah, we all listen to so many different types of music and we all like to cram in as much music as possible. So I wouldn't be surprised if people heard anything that we've listened to between the three of us over the last 10 years, which is Pantera to Simply Red.
Kind of already answered this question, but how do you think working in MPS has differed from all of your previous projects, and do you think those distinctions are conscious or unconscious? I mean, you kind of already said that, but...
Well, I was really consciously wanted to do something different. I read a really good quote from Einstein which said, insanity is doing the same things over and over, yet expecting different results. So it's just like, okay, well, I know what House of Strange has yielded, and, you know, I want to try something different, so... So, yeah, that was the...
Okay. Are there any bands or other groups that you maybe hadn't heard a year ago that really grabbed you recently?
Wow, there's so many good people at the moment. It's like, fuck, Summer Camp hardly existed a year ago, and those guys are fucking unbelievable. Like, those guys have created not only incredible pop tunes and an awesome sound to go with it, but a wicked environment and a kind of feeling and everything. So yeah, Summer Camp have been fucking kick-ass over the last year, and been listening to tons of Neon Indian, even though he's been around for slightly longer than that. Tons of fucking Nine Inch Nails again, which like I never used to listen to as a kid, but just something I've been listening to a lot lately. But working so much in the studio, I don't feel like I'm really on top of what's happening at the moment. Like I spend a lot of time working with artists, working here and working on my own shit, and on tour with the Tigers, I'll see all the bands who are vaguely around and stuff, so I kind of have a vague ear of like, okay, they're vaguely like that, but I don't have a lot of time to, fucking unearth awesome bands, which is it's not fucking great, but...
It gets harder and harder as time goes on.
Definitely! So and all the fucking people who you hang out with are either all musicians or all people who are my age, who are slightly getting on and not so into music anymore, so... Yeah. Those motherfuckers are talking about babies and shit. It's not like when you hang out... Yeah, I know, it's whap. It's not like when you hang out with your friends are going, dude, I watched this awesome movie and I checked out this wicked band. It's kind of like, oh, well, my boiler's broken. And it's like, lads, come on! Shit is only beautiful when you really fucking try hard to make it special. If not, everybody just gets really fucking jaded and shit, so...
Also, introduce yourselves on your blog as a live band. Is this a reference to actually playing live, or more the way you go about recording? Like more organic recording?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I really want the... I'm really liking bands at the moment that are slightly not so produced and slightly rough around the edges and trying to, using lots of technology but not using it in a way where you just kind of whack play on something and then all rock out
and it's all
weep along to a backing track. Yeah, it just doesn't have any power in it anymore like it used to. Back in the day, shit, watching Postal Service, fine, just like blah, no problem. But now it's come so far on from that, and technology has moved so far forward to let you be able to actually play it rather than let it play you. So really, really want to keep that vibe moving forward. Got one of the best drummers I've ever seen ever, so I don't think there's any worry about needing to stay in time with anything. Stay in time to that lad.
Yeah. Okay. Your lyrics sort of seem to come from quite an abstract place. Would you say there's an overarching theme to a lot of what you write, or is each song sort of independent and autonomous?
I think each song is, you know, they deal with different subjects, but I think it's all the same type of sciencey, history, kind of shit that really grabs me in anything. So I just watch tons of documentaries all the time. So that's like my, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I don't watch TV shows. We don't have a television. Yeah. So like all of my input is all science and all of that kind of shit. So that's, I guess it's no surprising that my output is all like that. That's all what's coming in. So yeah, that's all what's going out.
Okay. These days you see like obviously quite a lot of bands started by kids, sort of in the late teens. They're very sort of ambitious and maybe a bit naive in terms of like what they're getting themselves in for, just in terms of like the sheer volume of bands all at the same level. Do you think that having sort of taken a bit of time to work in different projects with different people and record loads of different bands here and elsewhere, do you think that's helped you establish what it is you want to do and what you're about?
I think so.
Because you have obviously such a specific criteria for what
whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know, but definitely, yeah. I mean, you do it long enough, and you know what you like and what you don't like, and you know you see people do things that gets them forward, and some people do the same things and it gets them backwards. So you kind of see like, you know, you see a lot of people working really hard for a long amount of time, and you see kind of what works, what doesn't, what kills bands, what doesn't, like. You know, it's kind of like creating a universe or something. You need a really special set of materials, and you need timing and luck and everything. But with pre-planning and a little bit of like knowledge of systems and stuff, you can go, okay, you don't need to kind of analogy of kind of pouring water into a cup where you're like, okay, I need to keep this water full, but there's a hole in it, and you're just continuously pouring water into it, and you're thinking, okay, well, if I just keep pouring water, the water is going to be there. But you could stop pouring water for a while and like reassess the situation, plug the hole, and then fill up the water, and then you're done. Like, you know, there's lots of people who work really, really, really hard and don't have anything to show for it, and I don't want to end up like that.
No.
Watch that Anvil documentary, and it's like, these guys are... They're fucking hard working, but it's just like, man, that's no way to end up.
No, I suppose not. No,
it's no way to like pour everything you have into something and just be getting nothing back.
It's I suppose there is a sort of strange romance to it, but
exactly, it's the most amazing thing about the music industry is, or for me, anyways. Everybody is fronting the magic. Like, the magic only comes from the audience listening to the music, and they're the ones who bring the magic. And then when everybody talks about the making of the music, they're talking about it to the people who think it's magic. So it's like a big bluffing game. Everybody wants it to be more special than it really is.
Yeah, I see.
And like, audience wants one thing, and a band, and it's this funny thing where everybody's bluffing each other and realizing, like, it's just really funny. Audience are pushing one way, and bands kind of going, we'll do whatever you want, but like, they're like, we don't want you to do whatever we want. Like, we want you to do what you want, but it's like...
But really, they want what they want.
Exactly.
They just want you to say this
exactly,
what they
want. It's this funny thing where it's like, so...
Okay. Obviously, you run this recording studio with House of Strange, and you've talked about how, like, the mission of it sort of being to turn the act of making music into a fully interactive experience. Just wondered if you could elaborate a bit on that, in terms of like what it involves and who else it involves.
Yeah, so it's pretty much me running the studio. I'll produce and engineer and mix, but it's really different depending on every project that comes in. Sometimes people have their own producers, in which case I'll just engineer. Sometimes people need help, so I really don't put down like a label on any project of, you know, this is kind of what I'm up to. I just kind of give everything I've got, and if people want it, awesome, and if they don't, then I shut the fuck up. And just literally, if the band leaves happy, then I'm stoked. And with the whole interactive thing, this I think there's there's a lot of really awesomeness in kind of music and visual. And yeah, we've made a bunch of music videos here for a bunch of different artists. So yeah, just kind of creating like what Summer Camp have done so effectively and so awesomely. They've like created this awesome vibe around their band, and it's fucking fun helping people try and, you know, create a world that's bigger than just a tune. Like,
yeah, so I mean, like, you kind of talked about that for live shows earlier, trying to do more visually and like, create an aesthetic. So just wondering about what sort of ideas you look to sort of build that with. You know?
Well, I think as far as aesthetic and stuff, I'm really into guys like Michel Gondry, who managed to do incredible looking shit that's really DIY, that like as an audience member when you're watching it, you make a lot of excuses for it not looking really, really awesome or something. You know, you're kind of like, oh, well, it kind of looks dodgy, but wow, that's a wicked fucking
like when
idea.
a magician does a trick. And
Exactly, like, you know, you want it to work. Audience always want shit to work, and if you're trying to give something that's trying to go, oh, we're really professional, people are going to go, okay, this is really professional, and then that's really shit about it. It's like artists. You can do a really simple drawing, and people can really engage with it. And if you spend slightly more time on it, people are like, ah, well, it doesn't look really good, it doesn't look really shit. It's this funny, like, middle ground. It's just like really trying to identify what a band is up to, what their lyrics are saying, and how they act, and like everything needs to push one vibe. Otherwise, you know, you got two horses and one's running one way and one's running the other way. You know, you want the music and you want the feeling and the lyrics and the textures of all the instruments all to be going like
one direction.
Yeah, this is what we're up to, you know, as a band.
Are you talking about visuals in a live setting or visuals in an actual video? Also
in a video, in a live setting, I think, like, anytime anybody sees you, it's so visual, like, you know,
I suppose
it's just like such a fine balance to get right.
Yeah, and I suppose it can be what makes the difference.
Yeah, big time. I think there's lots of, like you said, there's tons and tons of bands, and I feel like tons of them are really good. When you listen to the music, you're like, well, that sounds great, and the song is really good. But when you look at the band, you're like, well, they're never going to make it. Like, you need more than just super awesome songs. Yeah. You know, because people get behind bands like, you know, kids are looking for somebody to look up towards, and you're like, dude, that's
relate to.
Yeah, and like that's the direction I want to lead in life. I think that's why I got into music. Music. I only got into playing music when I was about 18 or 19, but listened to it all the way up through being young, and it was always the kind of the vibe that was going on that really got me into it. The like energy of punk and stuff. It was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, so I think unless you've got something to say that's larger than just like, yo, this is my tunes. You know, kids are they got so many different people to pick from who are vying for their attention. Like, you know, they know what's real or what's acted fucking incredibly well. But yeah, they want, you know, they have so much choice. They're going to pick the good shit. They're going to pick the shit that really speaks more than just like, okay, here's some shit. Like, here's a good tune or two. I guess that's why you get tons of songwriters who will write Michael Jackson songs, but then they don't have their own bands. Like, they're not singing on stage, and everybody's going Michael Jackson, and they're going Man in the Mirror at home, C sharp, D, you know, working out all the like nuts and bolts that make it happen.